people that can beat a lot. That alone defeats the idea of democracy. When the only debate, the only argument that me and you can have is about where you're coming from and not about what you want to do for the people, it is inevitable that the next punch I'm going to throw at you is your tribe. Because the politicians do not have a message. They don't have any idea that they can bring to the people and hope the people cling on to. So what do? They appeal to our shallow intelligences. They speak to our stupidity instead of our intelligence. They want to speak to you about your tribe because they know that it's easier to control you when they instill fear in you, when they tell you that this group of people are bad, when they tell you that this group of people would do this to you. They speak to your fear and then they manage you. That, and over time they've won elections before, so that works. Because that works, it's difficult for them to abandon that trick. It's very difficult. But again, it's you and me that have to decide. It is you and me that must sit back and say, if tomorrow my child grew up in a society like this, and once I will not be a fashionable name, will they be able to go to Yunza and be accepted because they are smart? If you, tomorrow, your child went to look for a job and they looked at the surname of your child and told the child that this surname is not fashionable anymore, will your child get employed? So because we've allowed this to go on, it is becoming culture. It is becoming a culture. How many times have we seen these politicians on a podium insulting an entire tribe? How many times have we listened to them? But how many of these politicians have been arrested for insulting, for being tribal, for being tribal? How many politicians are in court or in prison today for tribalist remarks? None. Instead, they are the ones that have been lifted. You see them walk next to presidents. You see them walk next to driving the biggest car. You see them living in the biggest houses. How do you expect that to stop? How do you expect that to stop?
Well, you've been a victim of stoppage in terms of, your right to protest. The recent one being, in June, where you still dribbled the police and still went ahead to protest in the bush. We're still trying to find out where exactly that was, but that's a story for another day. Where does this put, I still come back again to the set of democracy. Where does this put our democracy when people are not allowed to freely, speak out on issues that concern them? Let's take vis-a-vis the June protest that, you still went ahead and protested.
Yeah. So people don't speak because they are allowed to speak. People speak because they have something to say. And when the police and the government said we couldn't express ourselves, we said you cannot control us when to speak. It is difficult for me to speak in line with democracy, like I just said earlier. By definition, we are not a democracy. We are not a democracy. So it is difficult to fit the reality in what's called democracy.
Well, what would you say is the type of model we're using now?
I don't know. I would have called thiefdom, but thiefdom is not anywhere closer now. I would have called it a jungle, but in a jungle I've never seen lions steal money for hospitals for other lions. I would have called it, I don't know. It's not even a jungle. It's not in a jungle. We can, I don't know what we can call it. I don't know. It's a remix of everything put together, You can never go into a jungle and see monkeys that steal COVID-19 funds. I don't know if they've COVID anyway. Money that's meant to save lives, but end up in people's pockets building houses when people are dying. That doesn't even happen anywhere in the animal kingdom, if you ask me. So I don't know what we are. It's very embarrassing. It's very disturbing. It's very heartbreaking. And I don't know. we just there. I don't know.
It seems quite interesting because I don't know the picture of a Zambia that you envision, because those in government are telling us that this is a Zambia that we've prayed for. This is a Zambia that we've always wanted, because there's everything that we need now. The democracy that you're saying is not there. They're claiming that democracy is there. They're attributing to the fact that, look, it's unprecedented that in the history of Zambia's democracy, it's a patriotic front government that has opened quite a number of media houses. It is under the PF administration that people are free to protest. It's unfortunately your group and yourself are not allowed, but we've been seeing other political parties protest, like EFF, a number of other political parties protest, and they give all these examples. They give examples of the fact that, look, Zambia has never developed in this manner since independence. Everywhere you go, when you throw a stone, the likelihood that it's going to land on infrastructure is high because of how the patriotic administration has developed this country. And so someone would wonder, really, in which lens are you viewing the current leadership in?
Okay, so I'm gonna agree with anybody that says we developed. When President Lungu became president, he only had 2 million worth. It was only worth 2 million kwacha. 16 months later, it was worth 20 million plus kwacha. That's so much development. That's too much development. That's so much development. There were other members of parliaments and ministers now who we knew as paupers. Within their 3, 4, 5 years, they are billionaires now. That's so much development. Supersonic speeds to getting wealth. What I would not let you do, and let any politician do, is to see every other person in that light. I've had the privilege of going from Lusaka, from the Copper Belt, to the rural areas of this country. And the reality is so heartbreaking that you ask yourself, when you see these beautiful roads that are now decorations of corruption, you wonder if this is the same Zambia that everyone else is living in. I've been to places like Shangombo, where you find human beings drawing water in shallow wells, and you go looking there, you see frogs there. You see, this is water that you can't even wash your hands. In the same Zambia, I've been to places where young people sit under a tree for a classroom. Just last week, I saw schools where young people go sit on the floor, but class is suspended because it's rain season. This in Zambia. So now when you have so much money, why would you want to build roads when you have so many kids that cannot have the basic access to education? If you asked me, I would agree with those that are saying there is so much development in Zambia because their lives have developed so much that they've become so ignorant, they've become so blind that they can't see the pain and sufferings of so many other young people or so many people around the country. When they were poor like us and so like so many of other people in Zambia, they had the grace to see things. They could perceive, they could experience, they could talk about the hunger of the people. But now they are rich. Now they are powerful. Now they smell better. Now they drink the most expensive wine. Guess what? They think everybody's living that life because all their friends are drinking with them. All their friends are driving similar cars like them. Trust me, there is development there. But that's not the story for so many Zambians that are not privileged to run with the president in the morning.
I'll come back to the issue of, I'd like to get your take on, you've stated clearly that, yes, you're seeing nice buildings, you're seeing nice roads.
And by the way, these roads everywhere, the reason why we're seeing more roads and medicines in hospitals is because there is more money coming, going in people's pockets when they do the roads than there would be money coming if they were to supply medicines, proper medicines in hospitals and not the expired ones. So yeah,